Motivational speech for when you're feeling lost. Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when the path ahead disappears, when your dreams feel too far, your heart feels too heavy, and your mind, well, it's just tired. You wake up and wonder, what's the point? You scroll through the day, not really living, just existing, and in those moments you feel lost. But I'm here to remind you of something powerful. Being lost doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're searching. You see, even a compass spins wildly before it finds true north, and maybe right now your life feels like that compass. Turning, shaking, not settling, but that's okay, because in the chaos there's a signal. In the silence there's a whisper, and that whisper says, keep going. Les Brown once said, it's not over until you win. And Napoleon Hill taught us that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. So if you're in a valley today, look around. That's where the richest soil is. That's where roots grow deep. Here's the truth. No one climbs a mountain by accident. It takes will, it takes grit, but most of all, it takes vision. Even when your eyes can't see it clearly, your faith must guide you. Stop looking for perfect signs or waiting for the fog to lift. Sometimes clarity comes after movement, not before. Don't wait for the stars to align. Walk. Crawl if you have to, but move. You might feel behind. You might think you've wasted time, but let me ask you this. What if this lost season is exactly where you're supposed to be? What if the detour is part of the design? You're not late. You're learning. You're growing. You're becoming. Look, eagles don't learn to fly in nests. They get pushed, they fall, and then they rise. The same is true for you. That struggle you're facing, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to shape you, to reveal you, and if nobody's told you this lately, you're stronger than you think. There's fire in you that hasn't burned yet, dreams in you that haven't bloomed yet, so don't you dare quit. Not now, not here. Let today be the day you stop asking why me and start declaring try me. So go ahead, wipe your tears, square your shoulders, and take that first step. You may feel lost, but you're not alone. And you're not finished, not by a long shot. Your story isn't over. The best chapters, they're still waiting to be written. Here are 5 keynotes. 1. Being lost means you're searching, not broken. 2. Clarity often comes after movement, not before. 3. Your current struggle is shaping your future strength. 4. You're not behind. You're becoming. 5. Your story isn't over. The best is yet to come. Being lost means you're searching, not broken. There's a quiet kind of pain that comes with feeling lost. It's not loud, it doesn't scream or shout. It just sits there, heavy and quiet, making you question everything. You might look around and feel like everyone else has it figured out. Career paths, relationships, goals, direction. Meanwhile, you're stuck in this fog, unsure of where to go, what to do, or even who you are anymore. And in that confusion, it's easy to start believing that something's wrong with you. But let's pause right there. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you've failed or that you've missed your chance. In fact, it means something much more hopeful. It means you're searching, and searching is a sign of life. It means you haven't given up. You're still asking questions. You're still trying to find the truth, the purpose, the meaning. That's powerful. Too often, we confuse uncertainty with failure, but uncertainty is just space. Space where growth happens, where discovery begins. Think about it. If everything made perfect sense right now, if every answer was in place, there'd be no room to explore, no reason to dig deep. It's the questions that make us move. It's the longing that leads us to something new. Even nature understands this. Seeds don't sprout on the surface. They go underground, into the dark, into the unknown. They break apart, they stretch, they reach, and only after all that struggle, after all that unseen work, do they finally rise. The same goes for you. Feeling lost isn't the end, it's the beginning of something unseen but deeply important. You're in a process right now, even if it doesn't look like progress on the outside. You're gathering wisdom, even if it feels like confusion. You're building strength, even if it feels like weakness. What you're experiencing is transformation, not destruction. We live in a world obsessed with speed and clarity. Everyone wants quick answers, fast results, and perfect direction. But real growth doesn't work like that. Real growth is slow, often silent, and yes, sometimes it looks like being lost. But inside that mess, something beautiful is happening. You're being stretched. You're being challenged to look inward, to find your own voice instead of just following the noise. And here's something else to consider. People who never feel lost often stop growing. They settle. They follow the path handed to them without question. But those who feel lost, they're the ones who stop and ask, is this really the life I want? Clarity often comes after movement, not before. One of the biggest traps we fall into when we're feeling stuck or uncertain is waiting. We wait for a sign, we wait for motivation, we wait for the perfect plan. We think, as soon as I'm clear on what to do, then I'll take action. But the truth is, clarity rarely shows up before movement. Most of the time, you have to take a step, sometimes in the dark, before anything starts to make sense. Think about it like driving a car at night. Your headlights only show a few feet ahead, but you keep moving forward. You don't need to see the whole road to make the trip. You just need to see enough to keep going, and with each turn of the wheel, the road reveals itself. That's how clarity works. You move and then things become clearer. But fear keeps us frozen. We think if we act without knowing everything, we'll mess up, fail, or go the wrong way. So we overthink. We try to make perfect plans. We look for certainty where there is none. And in doing so, we miss out on the growth that only happens through experience. We forget that even the wrong path can lead us to the right place if we're paying attention. When you take action, even a small one, something powerful happens. You learn, you gather feedback, you get new perspectives. That job you weren't sure about might teach you what you don't want. And that's just as important. That conversation you were nervous to have might open a door you didn't even know existed. But none of that happens if you sit still, waiting to feel sure. Waiting for clarity can feel safe, but it often becomes a hiding place, and the longer you stay there, the heavier the fear becomes. You begin to doubt yourself more. You start believing the lie that you're not ready. But readiness doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. You become ready through the doing. You become confident through the trying. There's a reason people say progress over perfection. Because progress is messy. It doesn't always feel good. It's not always organized, but it moves you, it teaches you, it stretches you, and eventually, as you keep showing up, clarity begins to form. Like fog lifting after a storm, things start to click. Connections get made, paths appear, but only after you've begun. If you're standing still, trying to figure everything out before making a move, you might be waiting forever. Life doesn't reward the most cautious. It rewards the most curious. The ones who step forward even when it's uncomfortable, the ones who trust that answers often live on the other side of action. Every great journey started with uncertainty. No successful person ever had it all figured out at the start. They learned by trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created momentum. They understood that movement isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. And once you move, you create space for clarity to enter. Your current struggle is shaping your future strength. It might not feel like it right now, but everything you're going through is doing something deep inside you. The confusion, the frustration, the setbacks, they're not just random obstacles. They're shaping something in you that comfort never could. Pain has a way of pulling things out of us that ease would leave untouched. And that's the hidden power of struggle. It's not just happening to you, it's happening for you. We often want strength without the storm. We want confidence without the challenges, but life doesn't work that way. Strength is forged in the fire. You don't build resilience on the mountaintop. You build it in the valley when nothing makes sense and quitting seems easier. Those moments when you're doubting yourself, when you're crying in silence, when you feel like no one sees you, those are the moments that are building your character. Think about the strongest people you've ever met or heard of. The ones who inspire you, they didn't get that way by floating through life. They went through things, they struggled, they hit walls and kept going. They were knocked down and got back up not once but over and over. That's what gave their words weight, their actions power, and whether you realize it or not, that same kind of strength is being shaped in you right now. Sometimes struggle looks like failure. Sometimes it looks like starting over, and sometimes it just feels like surviving another day, but every time you choose to get back up, even if it's just to try again tomorrow, you're gaining something, you're building endurance, you're learning how to breathe in the middle of pressure. You're developing the kind of inner grit that can't be taught, only earned. Struggles also force us to grow in ways we wouldn't choose on our own. They make us ask hard questions, rethink our values, and sometimes even change our entire direction. That discomfort isn't pleasant, but it's meaningful. It shows us what we're really made of. It exposes our limits so we can expand them. It puts pressure on our weaknesses so we can turn them into strengths. There's something sacred about struggle. It's a classroom that no one wants to enter but everyone eventually needs, and the lessons it teaches don't come from books. They come from living through it, from wrestling with fear, from pushing through doubt, from holding on when you don't know what's next, and slowly, day by day, those invisible lessons start becoming visible changes. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, carry yourself with a quiet kind of strength that others feel. Don't be fooled into thinking you're weak because you're struggling. Struggle is proof you're in the fight. It means you're not numb. It means you still care. You're still reaching, and even if the progress is slow, even if it's hard to see, it's happening. The same way muscles grow by tearing and repairing, your inner strength is growing by breaking and rebuilding. And the best part, you won't even realize how strong you've become until one day you face something that would have broken you before, and this time you stand tall, you respond with calm, you handle it with grace. Not because it's easy, but because you've been through the fire before and made it out. You're not behind. You're becoming. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind in a world that moves so fast. Everywhere you look, someone is achieving something. Someone's getting promoted, traveling the world, launching a business, buying a house, building a perfect looking life on social media, and then there's you still trying to figure it out, still stuck in the same place, still waiting for your moment. And in that quiet comparison, a lie starts to creep in, the lie that you're too late, that you've missed your chance, that you're not where you're supposed to be. But here's the truth that doesn't get said enough. You're not behind. You're becoming. You're not supposed to have it all figured out yet. You're not supposed to be on someone else's timeline. You're on your path, your process, your pace, and becoming something real takes time. Think of nature. A tree doesn't shoot up overnight. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly in an hour. Everything that grows needs a season to develop roots before it rises. You're in that season. The season where things are happening inside you, quiet, unseen, but powerful. Growth isn't always visible. Becoming isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just small steps, repeated daily, that lead to massive change. We live in a culture obsessed with speed and milestones. but the most meaningful things in life aren't built in a rush. A house built in a hurry falls apart, but a house built with care, with attention, with patience, that house lasts. The same goes for you. You're building something that lasts, a mindset, a foundation. A life with depth, and that kind of life isn't created overnight. You might not be where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're in process. There's a version of you that's unfolding, a version that's wiser, stronger, more grounded. And right now, every struggle, every delay, every detour is contributing to that version. Just because your progress doesn't look like someone else's doesn't mean it's not happening. There's also a kind of courage required to keep going when nothing is clear. To keep showing up when no one's cheering you on. To keep believing in something you can't see yet. That kind of quiet persistence is powerful. It means you've chosen to believe in your future self, even when your present feels confusing. It means you're becoming someone who can carry the weight of your own dreams. Sometimes we think we're stuck when really we're being prepared. That job you hate might be teaching you discipline. That relationship that ended might be making space for someone who truly sees you. That season of waiting might be developing your patience and deepening your character, and none of it is wasted. It's all part of your becoming. Even your past mistakes are part of it. Every wrong turn, every failed attempt, every moment you felt like giving up, those experiences are shaping you. They're giving you perspective, empathy, humility. They're making sure that when you finally step into what's meant for you, you won't take it for granted. You'll be ready, not just to receive it, but to sustain it. So no, you're not behind, you're just not finished yet. You're evolving, unfolding, learning. You're going through the parts of the story that no one claps for but are absolutely necessary. And with every lesson, you're becoming more of who you were meant to be. Your story isn't over, the best is yet to come. There are times when life feels like it's come to a dead end, like the chapter you're in is the final one and there's no way forward. Maybe something didn't work out the way you hoped. Maybe you made a mistake so big it feels like you can't recover, or maybe you're just tired. Tired of starting over, tired of hoping, tired of believing that things will ever change. And in that quiet exhaustion, you start to wonder if this is it. If the best is already behind you, but the truth is, your story isn't finished, not even close. Just because you've hit a low point doesn't mean you've hit the end. Every powerful story has plot twists, dark moments, and unexpected detours. That's what makes it worth reading. That's what makes the comeback meaningful. A story without struggle doesn't inspire anyone. It's the battles, the heartbreaks, the setbacks. That's where the real strength is built. Sometimes the most important pages in your story are the ones that seem the most painful. They teach you who you are. They show you what you value. They push you to grow even when you don't feel ready. And while those pages might be hard to live through, they're not the whole book. They're just a chapter, maybe even just a paragraph. The story continues even when you can't see how. It's easy to look around and think everyone else has it all figured out. But the truth is, everyone's story is unfolding in real time. What looks like a perfect life from the outside is just a highlight reel. You don't see the moments when they cried behind closed doors, when they doubted themselves, when they nearly gave up. Just like no one sees yours, but that doesn't mean those moments don't matter. In fact, they might be the most important parts. You're still breathing, still waking up, still here. That means your story is still moving. Every single day you're alive is a blank page, and what's written next is still up to you. You may not be able to control everything that's happened to you, but you do get to choose how you respond. You get to decide whether today is the day you stop surviving and start building. Whether you keep letting your past write your future or you pick up the pen and write something new, you don't need to know how the entire story ends to take the next step. Sometimes it's not about seeing the whole path. It's about trusting that your steps still matter, even when they're small, even when they're shaky. You're shaping the story with every choice you make, with every time you decide to try again, with every moment you choose not to give in to fear. And just because you can't see the good that's coming doesn't mean it isn't on its way. So many breakthroughs come right after the point where most people give up. So many beautiful chapters start in the middle of chaos. You won't always get a warning before something incredible enters your life. Sometimes it just shows up quiet, unannounced, but exactly what you needed. Life has a way of surprising us, of turning the page when we least expect it. The pain you feel today might become the wisdom you share tomorrow. The waiting you hate might lead to the opportunity you never saw coming. The version of yourself that you haven't met yet, they're already forming. Growing in the shadows, preparing to take the stage.